And we are back. You were listening to the Rutten River Pursuit podcast. We are Reality Outdoor Radio, where our mission is to get you in the outdoors by connecting you with the people, skills, and products you can trust. It's day 8, folks. The show is just about done. I know my feet are hurting. The boys have put in some serious hours and covered some serious ground at that show. If you haven't made it out to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, to check out National Rifle Association's Great American Outdoor Show, you got to do it. I know I had fun. All the guys in the crew all had a good time. I'd like to take a moment quick to thank the National Rifle Association. They did a wonderful job saving this show that we used to have here in Pennsylvania, bringing it now as the Great American Outdoor Show. They've done a fantastic job. So thank you again to the National Rifle Association. So without further ado, let's just head on down to the show floor and see what the boys got for us today.
Okay, we are back at the Great American Outdoor Show 2020. I'm here with Brian, and
we're in the Outfitter Hall.
We are in the Outfitter Hall still. You know, Brian, the best part about the Sportsman's Night Out is you make friends.
That you do.
I got talking to a guy who he looked like a duck hunter. And by sure he was a duck hunter. Mr. Todd.
Yes, sir.
He's on, and we got Nick on. Hey, and you guys are with Mouse River Outfitters.
Correct.
Where is that located?
North Central North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Right in the middle of the Prairie Pothole region.
Yeah, so you were in the thick of it.
Yeah, it's a duck factory.
It is.
Yep.
It is, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys get everything, too. I mean, not only ducks, you know, what all do you get?
Ducks. Every duck in the Central Flyway comes through there or is hatched there.
Yeah.
We get geese, lessers, graders, speckle bellies, and snow geese. We get blue phase, the snow geese, and the white bird.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, swans is kind of our bonus bird. We do swan hunts there. And then also cranes, sandhill cranes.
Yeah, and that is on my bucket list big time. I want a sandhill crane in the worst way. And you and I were talking at the axe throwing about cranes and seeing them in different places. And I mean, you guys knock them down up there. So.
Correct. Yeah. We get a big draw from the East Coast for guys wanting to shoot cranes, and the swan is actually bigger than the cranes.
Yeah.
A lot of guys want to come and shoot a swan with us. And
so with the swan, I'm more familiar being on the East Coast here of the Carolinas. I think it's South Carolina. I might be mistaken. It could be North Carolina. You can get a tag.
Correct.
And it's a one bird tag.
Yep.
Is it the same way out there?
It is correct.
Okay.
It's a tag. It looks just like a deer tag. You got to notch it out once you shoot it. Immediately upon shooting it, you notch it out.
Yeah.
It's about 2,800 tags.
Okay.
It's a first come first served drawing, so you have to draw for it. But once you call up, you get it. And you buy your license, and they send it to you in the mail.
Okay, nice.
So
is that pretty hard drawing though? I mean, do you have to?
It's real easy draw.
Okay.
Yep. As long as you get there right away, it starts in July and ends in August. But if you call right away, you get your tag.
Yeah, because to me, 2,800 would go pretty quick.
Yeah, it's $30 too for the tag for a non-resident or resident. It's really reasonable. So
yeah, that's great. How are you decoying those swans? Are you
Some are decoying. If we set up for geese and ducks, sometimes they mess up and come into the spread, but not too often do they come into the fields. We mainly shoot them. They'll be on a pond, on a roost pond or something, and we get them coming and going from a couple different ponds. So it's mainly pass shooting them.
Now, are those all trumpeter swans, or are they tundra swans? What variety of swan are they?
They're tundra swans.
Tundra swans.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and they weigh a light one's 17 pounds, the biggest one's 23.5 pounds that we've harvested.
Can you imagine a 20-pound bird flopping beside you?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, man.
It's really cool when you see a dog fetch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a workout for your dog. Yeah.
For our listeners, in their booth they have a beautiful mount of 2 of them, and it's the what would you call that? The strap mount type thing.
A dead mount.
A dead mount. And
it's the size of a wild turkey. I mean, if you get a 22-pounder, that's what comes to mind is a gobbler or
Well, this is almost. I mean, I'm not that tall of a guy. I'm 5'10", but that's almost.
Yeah, they're about 5 foot hanging there.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we did have a flying one in our booth last year.
Yeah, and it was gorgeous. I saw that.
It was really pretty, but it destroyed it getting it here and back home. They're too big. There's no way to really haul it nicely. We haven't found a good way.
So, not only do you guys do waterfowl, but we want to touch, because there's some pictures of some fish going on in
we
your
do.
albums.
Yeah,
Big fish.
We have an outfitting business up in northeast Minnesota too.
Okay.
And we do walleyes, northern, smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, crappies, lake trout, and muskie. And we also do muskie on fly rod.
Really?
Yeah, and
That'd be awesome.
almost all of those species except walleye on a fly rod. They kind of stick towards the bottom, so they're hard to get up towards the top of the surface.
That's great.
But and we do black bear hunts up there too in northeast Minnesota. So
Nice. Is spring or is that fall?
a fall. It'd be
That's
a fall black.
Okay.
That's a draw.
Okay.
For that one, and the fishing is done in the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness.
Okay.
And we can either take you in a canoe or we can take you by boat and motor. Certain part of the Boundary Waters is open to boat and motor.
Okay.
Wow.
And it's really a neat trip if you've never done it because we portage.
Okay.
We actually have drop-down wheels on the boats.
Yeah.
And we drop them down, and you push the boat across them.
That is wild.
It's almost like a land bridge to another lake, and then you
Yeah.
go down that lake and then do it again. And
Wow.
to get in, most of our water up there is a river system.
Okay.
And it's flowing water. And the walleye fishing and all of the fishing up there is phenomenal. It's probably the best smallmouth bass fishing in the world.
I couldn't imagine
Right.
having a smallie on a fly rod.
It's a riot.
man.
It's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah, and a 3-pounder is a small one for us, and we get a lot between 5 and 6. We get a lot of 22 inches, 22 and a half inch smallmouth in the summertime. June's the best time for them when they're up on
Right.
their beds, and
Yeah.
and we just catch and release them. You know, we don't do any harvest on them. We catch the walleyes to eat. We do a shore lunch every day too. So we go out fishing in the morning, and then we take a break and go to shore and make you a walleye shore lunch. And
Oh, man, that sounds great.
potatoes and sausages and the potatoes and beans.
You
and,
got me, man.
Yeah,
That's, this is early in the morning here, but I could eat now after thinking about that.
yeah.
Nick, what's your favorite thing to do with the whole guide service?
My favorite thing is the waterfowl. I
Yeah.
live for the duck hunts. Really like fishing though. It's hard to just pick one.
Right.
I mean, it's so much fun doing it just year round. You know,
Yeah,
it's a riot.
can't beat it.
Can't beat it, dude. The guide life.
Yeah,
We kind of use the fishing to take the edge off the hunting, you know.
Right,
Kinda-
Something to do in the off season.
Yeah, yep.
keep you active, keep you around the water though. Right?
Yep.
Speaking
yeah.
of seasons, when's your peak of your waterfowl season? When did
So it opens October 3rd,
Okay.
and we hunt till November 10th, and usually we freeze up around then.
Okay.
So that's our season, but we don't really have a peak because we're in the migration, but we have so many natural birds that live there and stay there, local birds, that we always have birds. So we don't have to really wait for them. It's nice when we get a push out of Canada because they're dumb.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Everybody
Fresh
likes
birds.
fresh birds. Everyone likes fresh birds, but we always have birds. And we get guys that say, well, we only want to come duck hunting, and we get there, and well, if the ducks aren't flying, well, at least we can give you geese or cranes or something to shoot at.
Yeah.
So you always have something to harvest.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we kill our numbers that we kill, and it's really hard for us to explain to people how our birds are there, because if they've never seen it, it's unbelievable. When they come, it looks like bugs. I had a guy last year tell me that it looked like there's smoke coming. I said, that's not smoke, guy. That's the birds coming off the refuge. It's time. And when they come in waves of anywhere from 100 to 2,000. And we had some hunts last year. We shot over 40 birds in under 30 minutes. Yeah,
That's
great.
Yeah, you just it's almost can't pick them up fast enough. You know, my dog doesn't release on a command. She just goes because I don't have time to tell her what to do. And she just brings them, drops them at my feet, and then keeps going and grabbing them. And she'll even be running into decoys when the birds are coming in, picking them all up.
Wow.
And I just let her go.
That must be incredible.
So, are you guys a full service lodge? Do you have if we book a hunt, you talked about with the fishing, some shore lunches for the waterfowl hunt.
Yep.
You can lodge too.
Everything, yeah. For the waterfowl hunts in North Dakota, the lodge has 7 bedrooms and sleeps up to 18 people, 4 bathrooms. I have Wi-Fi, TV, the whole works. We have a chef on staff that cooks 3 meals a day for you, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really nice. The bird cleaning's included in our price too. All the birds are cleaned for you and frozen before you leave.
That's nice.
Yeah, and then also any beverages you want to. Yeah, there's not a lot up there where we're at, so we try to give the guys as much as they want. The only thing you need to get your hunting licenses and bring your shells.
Okay. So so everything's included.
Everything's
one
included.
Price type
Yeah.
thing?
One price. And
Okay.
like I said, the only thing is your hunting license that you need to get in your shells. So
That's great.
Sounds like a great deal.
Yeah, we got an airport. It's only 50 miles away.
Okay, so
it's
we can
not
pretty direct flight type
Yep,
thing.
real direct flight.
Nice.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else you would like our listeners to know about your guide service?
You just got to experience it.
Yeah.
There's no
You gotta
other.
see it to believe it.
Yeah, even the pictures. Just stopping by, looking at your pictures, it's unreal.
It is.
You and I talked at the axe throwing, but the pictures. It's something just seeing that.
Yeah, One of the things our clients tell us a lot that they really like about it is you're so close to Canada. It's like hunting in Canada.
Okay.
But you don't have to go through all the gun registration.
Yes.
You don't have to do all the border crossing and everything.
Yeah.
You're right. A lot of days we hunt, our shot drops into Canada. We're that close to Canada. So
That's funny.
Yeah, it's right on the border. So they like that a lot too. That they
Yeah.
don't have to go up and go through the border and stuff to go to Canada.
That is more convenient. I know guys that go up to Saskatchewan every year,
Yep.
and they tell me of some horror stories of coming through and going to. So that is a nice draw.
That's one of the draws. The other one is we true decoy. Our birds
Okay.
are coming in your face. I shoot a 20 gauge.
Yeah.
Number 3s or 4s, you know.
Right,
And
right.
yeah, and that right there says how close the birds
Well,
are.
when you have that many targets, it
Right.
makes a big difference. I mean, to shoot 20 gauge, you can shoot that all day, every day, throughout the
Right.
entire week without getting tired or your shoulder getting sore.
Exactly.
So
yeah, our clients a lot of times the hard part they have is they don't understand. I'm like, if you don't see a drake, don't shoot at this flock. But they're so used to only having a few birds come in
Right.
that we have to say, wait, there's more going to come.
Yeah.
You don't have to kill the first birds that
just
come. Don't shoot a bunch
Sit
of
back
hens.
and be picky, which is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they don't understand that. But once
Yeah.
they see it for the first time, and they're like, there's just wall after wall of birds coming when they come, when they start to come. And we get a rush right away in the morning, and then you get a little lull, kind
Right.
of pick up the birds you got, figure out what you have, and then you wait about 10, 15 minutes, and then the rest start coming, You get those early risers. And then,
man, it sounds like I'm heading west. I got to check it
it's,
out.
It's amazing. It
out.
really is
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, guys, the show's getting busy. It's early morning. Kind of just opened up your booth. There's people coming want to talk to you. For our listeners that can't make it to the show, how can they find you?
You can come and look at us. ndhunting.com is our website.
Okay.
You can check us out on there. Nick does our Instagram
We're on
page.
Instagram, Facebook,
Okay. And
Yeah.
what's your handle on Instagram and Facebook?
Mouse River Outfitters, or they can follow me, Nick Walter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, and we got some YouTube videos out there. Just look up Mouse River Outfitters, and you'll see some of the hunts and that, and you kind of get an idea of what we do and how
Yeah.
we do it on those videos.
Perfect.
Very
Well,
cool.
thank you, guys.
All right.
Yeah,
Thanks for your time.
Thank you guys, too. I really appreciate
Have a
you
great
stopping
show.
by.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We'll see you.
Got it.
We're still in the outfitter hall, and as I'm walking around the corner here, I am seeing a lot of full fans and some more feathers. So we had to stop over here and check out what Mr. Bryce Collins has to offer. He's from Eastern View Outfit.
I was going to say, Bryce, you got Pick all locked up.
Yeah, man. Locked
Mr.
up,
Bryce from
feet down.
Eastern View Outfitters. He's here on the East Coast, just north of New York State. And so, Bryce, tell us about what you have to offer at Eastern View.
Well, Eastern View Outfitters, we're located in Plattsburgh, New York, so it's the very northeast corner of the state, right on the shores of Lake Champlain, which is a 120-mile-long lake, separates Vermont, New York. We're right up on the Canadian border, 20 minutes from the border, hour south of Montreal. It's a beautiful region. I'm born and raised there. Started this business from scratch about 10 years ago on a pipe dream, and it is now arguably one of the busiest guide services in the state.
Wow.
We specialize in birds and fish, to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Ducks, geese, wild turkey, and then we do charters and fishing charters and bow fishing charters on the lake. So
So it sounds like you're busy. You're pretty much year-round,
9
right?
months a year,
Yeah.
and then I do some vacations, and then
It starts over again.
The shows are work too. We all know that. So
Yeah.
it's certainly a passion of mine, and I still love it, even though it gets super stressful at times with the workload.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Some of your passions, we got to talk at the
Uh-huh.
R2 Sportsman's Night Out, and I want to dive into a little bit of this turkey talk.
Okay.
I mean, that's next up for a lot of people.
It is.
We're going to be looking to the turkey fields and the big woods, and I think you got a pretty good little situation going on up in New York.
I do, yeah. So, believe it or not, this whole business was pretty much started surrounding turkey hunting.
Yeah.
That, not to say, we're not good at killing geese. Obviously, we're
looks like
head
you
and
kill a few.
shoulders above,
Yeah.
most other people with killing geese. But, yeah, I started this thing surrounding turkey hunting.
Yeah.
And we're now like the, I guess, top of the food chain when it comes to turkey hunting in the Northeast. I
Sure.
have people coming from all over the country to turkey hunt. There's like a turkey tourism industry, if you will, with people chasing the 49 state slam. So there's a lot of serious turkey gurus, turkey nuts, including myself, who want to kill birds in all 49 states, excluding Alaska, because there's no turkeys that inhabit Alaska. So they are seeking out, the top outfitters in each state to make their time super efficient. So they'll come in, they want to know that all the homework's been done, and they're willing to pay for it. And then me knowing this, I started offering hunts in 5 different states. So I offer hunts in Maine, New Hampshire, Mass, Vermont, and New York.
Yeah.
And so I have great connections and affiliates in those states.
Yep.
I build a package deal for these guys, make sure everything's taken care of, and they trust a name that's been built, Eastern View Outfitters. It's a brand now. I mean, people know this.
So they can contact you, and they can bust out 5 states.
5
right
states.
Quick.
So when it comes to New England turkey hunting, you're the man.
I mean, I try to stay humble, but we do a really good job. We work really hard, and I stay super, super busy.
I'll say it for you, Bryce, because that's what I'm hearing. You're naming 5 states and saying you're doing your homework. You got guys seeking you out. You are the man.
Well, success speaks for itself. I mean, when guys go out and they're successful, there's no bragging about it. You kill birds, you kill birds. That's the end of story.
And these are the guys that are the professionals. They need to make their hay if they're going to get 49 birds in 49 states.
That's right. Last year we had guys that were up in the high 30s, high 40s, killed in states, hunted with a lot of outfitters, and I got a couple videos on my Facebook page where these guys from Alabama, they knocked out 2 birds each, 4 guys, 2 birds each in 3 days just in New York. And there's a video where we killed a double bird. I went live on Facebook, and the things they said, I didn't prompt them. I mean, it was very flattering, the fact that they've hunted with a lot of outfitters and the services that we offer collectively. It's not just me, it's a team. I have a team surrounding me that's very important. As we all know, you guys are here as a team.
Yeah.
It's teamwork makes the dream work. Sounds super corny, but it's the real deal. And when you got that chemistry and everyone is working for a common goal to make that hunter successful, it makes
nothing better.
Yeah, it makes the guide service that much more successful.
That's cool.
You pinged off one thing that I wanted to talk about. There's 2 birds in New York.
Yes.
That you got a package for.
Yep.
So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, so you're allowed 2 birds per person per day. Two gobblers per person. You have to take them in 2 consecutive days. But yeah, we offer 3-day hunts, and most people, kill both their birds. So it's super high success rates on the hunts. Not everyone gets both their birds, but everyone kills a turkey or has ample opportunity.
Yeah.
A lot of opportunity.
That's what I said.
You can't pull the trigger for them.
Yeah, we know some
or look
guys.
down the barrel.
It's a fully guided hunt. That's why I was talking to Bryce. I'm like, I'm not a great turkey hunter, and he was like, just come up and check it out. We'll see what we can do.
Oh yeah. If I can get and nothing to take away anything from huntresses and women, but if I can get women that have never hunted before, old guys that maybe have only shot a couple turkeys, kids.
What, you shot turkeys?
No, not even a couple. An old guy.
Oh, gotcha.
How about? Do you have a category for old guys that haven't shot a turkey?
No, but I got a category for old guys, and I just kind of loop them in one big bundle. The geriatric unit, if you will.
Throw me in there right now, bud.
It's Bucky and J-Lo.
But no, we work hard and tailor the hunt to make people successful, whether it's a youth hunt or a guy that can't, walk like he used to. Knowing these factors, I can tailor a hunt and get the guy in there and make it happen for him.
That's good. And being that there's 5 states, I'm sure that each one of those states, the season dates are different, so you can vary a week or 2.
Slightly. Mass opens early sometimes. Maine always is open a little bit later into June. But for the most part, to keep it simple, the Northeast states are like the month of May. I mean, it'll shuffle a little bit based on, like I said, a lot of season openers are on the weekend.
Yeah.
So like Mass may open a little bit before. And Pennsylvania is always real close to New York, but I think they swap it back and forth a few days so that a guy on the border can hunt the opener in PA or vice versa and back and forth. So, but to keep it simple, it's the month of May.
And then during the summer, you said you were close to Lake Champlain. Is that where most of your fishing takes place?
Yep. So we're right on Lake Champlain. I'm fortunate enough to live right on the lake. But all the charters we do are on Champlain. It's a world-class fishery. Lots of professional bass tournaments. They had the Bassmaster Series, the Bassmaster Classic, the Super Bowl. Sure. Super Bowl is on our lake a few years back. So every year, all the big guns with the wrap boats are there. And then it has an amazing lake trout fishery and an Atlantic salmon fishery as well. So
seeing some muskie, pictures of muskie being held up.
There are some muskie there. These right here are actually northern pike.
Northern pike,
But it is a diverse lake. It's got muskie, walleye, smallmouth, largemouth, an assortment of panfish. It's got browns, steelhead, big population of Lakers and salmon.
It's a massive lake.
It's 120 miles long by about 13 miles wide at the widest. Deepest point is 414 feet.
Wow.
So deep. You could fish it your whole life and never 7 days a week be a charter captain out there and never truly know it all. It's big.
Yeah, Charlie Moore, I talked to him a little bit about
Lake Champlain.
Yeah, absolutely. He's gave me a little bit of the skinny, but I mean, it's just, like you said, you're never going to fish it.
And then when you get into late summer, early winter time, you going for some honkers then? Some Canadians.
So September's the month where it all changes. We do offer fishing charters, from May till October in this overlap period. But September, me and about 10 guys, we hunt September Canada geese. And that's our passion, and we work hard at it. And, we kill around 2,000 geese in about 2.5 weeks of hunting.
I think I'm looking at about 1,100 of them here on the wall. A lot of geese.
I want to ask about
the tractor.
We haven't had a lot. Mm-hmm. We've had a mild winter, but I see that it snows up your way a little bit, and I'm talking snow geese. Right?
Yeah, we get some tornadoes, some F5 tornadoes once in a while up there,
Wow.
That's great.
What are those like? I've never...
So snow geese, they're called a greater snow geese, and there's snow geese in the Midwest flyway that are called lessers, different subspecies. Similar bird, but in my opinion, I've hunted both. I think graders are a lot more challenging to hunt with the respect that, number one, there's less birds in our flyway, but number two, they don't separate out age class-wise like the lesser populations.
Okay.
So younger birds are dumb, to keep it simple, and you could have birds in the Dakotas, and the young birds tend to hang back, and they could be in Louisiana and Arkansas still. So guys are shooting these massive amounts of lesser snow geese, and they're targeting a lot of times the younger birds. Whereas in our flyway, they do separate out some, but not as much. And even when you have a good juvenile hatch, there's still birds that are in this flock that you're working that are probably between 9 and 20 years old. These geese can live 30 years. So the amount of spreads they've seen, the amount of hunting pressure, they get hunted 9 months a year. From the time they leave the breeding grounds all the way down to the Chesapeake Bay and all the way back to the, almost to the breeding grounds, these things are being harassed.
Educated all the way.
Well, you fooled a few of them because they're laying there. There's proof right there.
They're a lot of fun to hunt, and nothing truly captivates you like working, a couple thousand snow geese over the top of you. The sound is deafening.
It's madness, right?
Yeah.
It's a different...
Do they literally block the sun out?
But when you start feeling like it's raining, and the guys are like, "Oh, what the heck? It's raining!" No, they're pooping and defecating on you. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's when it's starting to get hairy.
When you're in a what storm.
Keep your mouth closed.
Exactly.
Don't look up.
I guess that's a good problem to have in that situation.
But nothing's more rewarding than fooling, a couple thousand snow geese and finishing them to the ground. That's even for a seasoned waterfowler who's shot thousands of birds, nothing gets you kind of on edge like that.
Yeah.
It's just it's the the 160-inch whitetail archery close that you're bearing down on. I mean, that's what snow goose hunting is, and it only takes, and they're very difficult to hunt, and sometimes they make you look really, really bad, and it doesn't matter how good a guide you are, how good an outfitter. Sometimes it just doesn't happen, but it only takes one time for a couple magical moments, and you will forever you will forever set 2,000 decoys just to try to get that fix one more time.
Well, it's crazy, and it's so on off. Like it's off, and then boom, that moment comes, and it's on, and your energy is through the roof.
Yep.
Like you're locked down because you don't want to move, you don't want to do anything wrong. It is such a magical moment, like you said, and it until it happens, you'll never know.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you gotta, find a guy like Bryce and get out there and get on these birds.
Are you in layout blinds doing this, or?
It depends on the situation. We utilize some layout blinds, but I have a lot of older gentlemen that we're utilizing A-frame blinds. So it's like a sit down in a chair, stand up to shoot style situation. We've been going to more and more of that because you can hide 12, 15 guys in an A-frame blind. You just got to have some top cover. That's the biggest thing. Tip I would use using A-frames is, you're standing up through the middle of this blind, and you got to have some top profile. Almost maybe some grass kind of teepeed over it. Right. Some blinds offer some top cover. It depends on the style of, A-frame that you're using. But I like hunting out of an A-frame. I mean, I'm 36. I can lay down all day, but I like the hunt of a sit-down, stand-up style hunt, and the old guys love it. But yes, we do use lay-down field blinds, and in the snow goose spread, a lot of times we will be laying in whites, in and amongst 2, maybe 4,000 decoys in white Tyvek suits, hiding with with that method, and you got a padded backrest that you're laying on, so it's not like you're just laying on the ground. Right. But some guys can't.
When you were saying 9 months out of the year, you weren't kidding.
No. I mean, from the time they leave the tundra, there's guys hunting them in Canada.
Yeah.
They get down in New York. There's guys harassing them, and a lot of guys realize how much work it is to decoy them, and so if you got a field with snows in it and you can kind of stalk, you can jump shoot a lot more than you can decoying them. And some people don't have, $5,000 to $10,000 to sink into white decoys, so they'll jump shoot them, which I don't do personally. I don't find really any gratification in it. But what I'm saying is people are harassing them, okay?
Yeah.
From like as soon as they get down out of the tundra in Canada, all the way to where they winter, from Jersey to Delaware, Maryland area is typically where they winter, and then they're being harassed straight back up through. And the only place they're safe is when they're sitting on their nests.
Bryce, where can they go to get pricing or get a bead on a good hunt?
Yep. So we have a website, Eastern View Outfitters. It's www.easternviewoutfitters.com. Facebook, Eastern View Outfitters, and then once again on Instagram, you can follow us on any of those social media platforms. But best place is on the website. Just scroll down, navigate the tabs, and.
Do you have any openings for spring hunts?
Very few. Couple openings in March and April, but I'm fairly booked. We run 2 groups of hunters a day, 8 hunters per field, so 16 hunters. We're just about full. I'm not even really trying to push it, but if guys ask about it, great. But we'll fill up regardless.
Just for our listeners out there, if you want to get a spot, you better hurry up.
Run down here.
Yep.
Bryce Collins, everybody, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Bryce.
Well, hey, it's been a pleasure doing my first podcast with you guys.
I
didn't know what to expect.
It's always nice to be someone's first.
I think I was a little more at ease with it. It is like just talking with your friends. And
absolutely.
So thanks for
saying we're friends.
Thanks for popping my cherry, boys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Bryce. Have a good show.
Yep.
Guys, I'm excited. I'm up here in what we call the Gun Hall, the Great American Outdoor Show, and we're with Jeff Carlson. I said it right, didn't I not?
You did. You got it absolutely correct.
Nice, dude.
Nailed it.
And if anybody who's ever been to the show has walked by this corner, and whether you've stopped or not, you're guilty of staring and going, ooh.
Lust is a 7 deadly sin.
It is, and the name will stick in your head because once you leave here, you know you still want one all year. We're up here at the Argo booth, and don't pretend like you haven't heard of it. You know what? They're the 6-wheelers.
Yeah.
They're the 6-wheelers that float.
And 8. We got 6 and 8.
And 8-wheelers that go float, mud, anywhere you want to go.
Amphibious terrain vehicles, that's safe to say?
Fully amphibious.
Yeah.
Tracks.
We've got them tracked or wheeled. We can put tracks on any of them, no matter what the size. They'll go through, over, around, under, wherever you want to go. It'll do it.
Just go. That's gonna be our new 2020. Just go.
Just go.
Just go wherever you want.
Argo. Just go.
Argo,
go anywhere is our slogan.
Is it?
Go anywhere.
I figured it had to been good.
Yeah, but do they float?
Only in water.
Don't run them through Jello.
So
and if you ask me how deep, we're gonna throw hands.
But in all fairness, now I want to defend Will here for a moment.
Please
Before we
do.
got started recording, Jeff was telling us that one of the 2 most common questions are, does it float?
Yes.
Which is kind of silly, and how deep? Which is
how deep
equally
does it
as
float?
silly kind of a question.
Does it float question I get, because not a lot of people are familiar with the product. So when you see one with tracks and you see it loaded up with gear, it makes sense to me. Go like, does it go in water? Does it float? I can get that. But when you ask me how deep, that's when we have a little bit of problem. Because if it floats, it doesn't matter how deep it is,
has
does it?
the optional 30-foot snorkel tube if you want.
Yes.
I'm
now,
guessing,
we've got a submarine package if you really want to get there. No, I'm just kidding. We don't.
I'm
the
guessing,
squirrels that run it wouldn't survive.
That's right.
I'm guessing the actual answer to that question is it needs to be in at least 2.5 foot of water, because otherwise
it needs to be
you're
in
driving.
enough.
Right?
Yes. If it gets up to the lip here, which is where the water level will come to, which is about, you're right, around 2.5 feet. I'd have to measure it exactly to know. But yes, it'll start floating then.
Yeah.
And the wheels will propel it at about 3 to 5 miles per hour.
That's the coolest part, I think, is the wheels or the propeller.
Yeah. We do have outboard motor mounts for them.
Is that
so
right?
You can put up to a 9.9 horsepower outboard motor on it.
Come on.
Corey.
That absolutely, we've got a number of accessories for these to outfit them the way you want.
It would not take us nearly 3 days to do an overnight float on a Juniata if we had one of these with a 9.9 on the back.
No, especially where you have to get out and drive your kayaks.
And you'd never have to worry about clearance and running into rocks and stuff, because when you get to the rock, it's going to drive over it.
Yes,
absolutely.
And you
get a sandbar or whatever.
Safe
you got something in the water, it needs to go over, it'll do it.
Oh boy,
Lord.
Now he's getting all excited and getting a brochure out. He's picking out the model he wants.
My riverboat plans might change.
I was going to tell all the listeners right now, if you want to jump on while you're listening to us and go to ArgoXTV, as in Victor.com, you can see what we're looking at. Jump on your phone right now while you're listening to this and check these things out.
And on that website, we also have a dealer locator, so no matter where you are in the country, you can put your location in and you can find a dealer around you.
And this isn't your typical ATV four-wheeler, just like you and a buddy behind you and some, maybe a tree stand. You can load these suckers down.
You can, and we also have fully amphibious trailers that you can connect to the back and pull around even more equipment with. What? So, and we have different sizes. Like this model right here is a 6-wheel, 6x6 600 that is the lowest price unit that we do. We've got a special on these right now, $79.99. Okay?
That's cool.
They're normally $99.99.
Yeah.
All right? So they're $2,000 off right now.
Wow.
Go to a dealer, tell them you want one. Now, you might not find it on the floor right now because we're selling a lot.
Yeah.
They're selling out. So we've got a production run of about 50 of them coming up this month. we're trying to get some more cranked out to move them.
So with an amphibious trailer, this is like a waterfowl hunter's wet dream.
Oh
No
my
pun
gosh.
intended.
No.
And then we go up to
flooded timber, though, is
I just want to add some levity to this.
Go ahead.
$79. Is that what you said?
$79.99.
Yeah. So compare that to any UTV out there.
That's a price of an ATV.
It's half the price.
Yeah, it's a price of a small ATV.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't priced a Honda 420 Rancher in a long time, but I would imagine it costs at least that much.
I'm just saying it does, yeah. But that's half the price of a UTV.
Absolutely,
absolutely. The side by sides aren't going to go where that goes.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, the prices go up from there. That is the absolute rock bottom price.
Right.
But we've got 8 wheels like this Scout model right here that comes in the camouflage. The way that this one is set up, the tracks are added onto it and this type of stuff. You're looking around $25,000.
Right.
Okay, for this. But it's a bigger model, bigger engine, more capability. You know, it's a larger size model. And it's got some features that the 6-wheel don't. And the 8 wheels gives it a little more stability, a little bigger footprint on the ground.
Yeah.
So when you're going over those wet, marshy, swampy areas, it'll handle it a little better.
And that's exactly what I was thinking. You know, we have some swampy areas at our camp that just, terrible to kind of get around or through and over. But that's
what you literally do, though, is that's half the price of a truck. You buy that, you sell your truck, and you just live in it because it's that amazing.
Well, we actually have full enclosures that go on these as well.
I'm looking at
so
this.
So you put a windshield and a full enclosure on it.
Yeah.
And you can keep the kind of the weather out.
Yeah.
Now, I don't suggest living in it.
Oh, yeah, I'd live in it.
Because it's pretty sparse on the bathroom facilities.
Yeah.
But and you may not have a place to cook your meals.
You got to learn to go outside.
You do. You got to go as Mother Nature intended.
That's right.
Jeff, I see in your catalog here that you can hook a snowplow to it.
You can. There's plow accessories for it. Fully articulated plow from the winch. It's got the manual angle adjustment, but it'll raise and lower through the winch.
Now, driving one. Let's get into driving one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get in and drive one?
Let's get in and drive one
That's what I thought
now.
he said.
What's the turning radius? It looks like it would take forever to turn this sucker in a circle.
It actually doesn't. It is a skid steer principle on these, just like driving a bulldozer.
Really?
Okay. So when you turn it, it locks one side. When you go full edge to edge, it'll lock one side and pivot. Yeah. It's not a complete pivot.
Sure.
It's not going to turn on a dime.
It's not zero turn. But
It's not a zero turn, but it'll pivot pretty tight.
Yeah.
Well, that's impressive.
It's a +1 turn.
And these have all the models from the 6-wheel up this year have the hydraulic assist steering.
Okay.
So it's a lot easier and smoother than some of the previous models.
And if you guys can picture this, too, they have handlebars in them now that look like four-wheeler handlebars.
Yes,
I remember back in the day they had the stick steer.
We had the stick steer back in the day, and we've revised it and gone to all the handlebar models, all on left side drive now.
Yes.
We used to have some that were right side drive last year and years before, but we've moved them all over to the left side now.
Now, what kind of...
Because it's America.
Because it's America. That's right. We drive on the left here. That's right.
That's right.
What kind of craziness are we talking about? What can we get into? Can we get a speaker in one? I see awesome cup holders on them.
You're probably going to have to go aftermarket for some things like
that.
But
it can be done?
I'm sure it can be done. Anything can be done if you're brave enough.
Yes, sir.
Put a helicopter engine in it if you want.
Well, that was my next question.
Off label.
No, he obviously doesn't know catfish because you can't say stuff like that to catfish. He's going to try
He's
it.
going to try it. He's like me.
Try it.
Yeah, we'll tinker with it in the garage. We'll make a helicopter out of it. That was my next question. I see the inboard fuel tank.
Yeah.
So, gasoline, diesel, what are they?
Gas.
Gasoline?
Yes.
I love it. So you take this out. Now, I know that the people can't see me. I'm looking at the big one with the tracks with the 4 wheels on it. Yeah. It's epic. How far will it go in a tank of gas?
Oh, that's a good question. 12 to 14 hours is a good estimate.
Really?
Yeah.
And it has...
That's a question I've never been asked, believe it or not.
Well, it has...
Like, how far will... Mileage-wise, I don't know. The thing you got to think about is most people, when they're in these, they're going to go somewhere, they're going to stop, they're going to let it run for a little while they're doing something.
Yeah.
They're going to go a little further.
Yeah.
So you probably gauge that by hours better than you would mileage.
Sure. Right. Yep. I was thinking of when I was in Alaska out the tundra, just, you go forever, you turn around and you come back. Almost in a straight line forever in rolling hills. But it has such a big payload in the back, there'd be nothing to throw a couple gas cans in it.
Absolutely. Yeah, a couple of jerry cans in the back, you're good to go. And the nice thing is it's real easy to tell where your fuel level is.
Now, the one that I'm talking about, too, has like dual bench seats in the back sideways. So almost like a deuce and a half truck in the back. Remember that?
Yeah.
Kind of like this one over here?
Exactly.
Yeah,
well, I'm not looking at that one right now because that's the stealth black,
the one he wants.
epic, amazing one that I've tried to keep my eyes off
Bigfoot.
of.
That's our Bigfoot model. That one is designed more for mudding than anything else. It's got some deeper tread on the tires. It goes pretty good in the mud. This model won the Mud Nationals. Has a big motor in it, have 40 horsepower motor in it. It's a big, and we actually make a smaller version of this that had the same size engine in it.
Really?
Yeah.
And it has the winch on the front.
There's still some of those out there for sale.
It's cool because you can put the winch on the front, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Now, does the deeper tread on the tire for mud, and does that also give you maybe a little more speed in the water?
No.
Okay.
No.
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, that tire it'll actually do better with this tire in the water.
The paddle tires.
Yeah, the paddle type tires. That is more for mudding, although that tire does better in the water than the one that we previously had on it, which had a deeper tread on it.
Okay.
Okay, but it pulled in some weird ways in the water, and so we went back and redesigned it.
So what he's saying is that he gets to test this stuff and tell him what works and what doesn't work, and I would like to know where you work so I can have that job. Is it really in Ontario, Canada?
Yes, it is, but I'll tell you where we get the best feedback from is our dealers.
Is it? Yep.
The dealers call us, they say, this works, this doesn't.
Yeah.
We need this, we need that. You know, we listen to our dealers, we try to be responsive because they're the direct line to the consumer.
Yeah.
Their consumer is telling them what they like and don't like about it.
Yeah.
And then we can adjust accordingly.
Now,
can I ask you something personal?
Yes, sir.
Does Argo make a quad?
Yes, we do. We have ATVs as well.
There's a vehicle here with only 4 wheels?
I didn't even
it's right
see
there.
it back there.
It's right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we do two different size
It's hiding in the
ATVs.
back.
We do a 500 and 1,000, but we have a couple of models in there.
Yeah.
We have single passenger and
is
two
that
up.
newer? Is it a?
We've been doing it since 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's a sharp-looking quad, too.
It is. It's a
really
nice
is.
machine. Yeah.
Now, a lot of, like, everything you have sitting here, I could picture taking through the mud in Alabama.
Oh, absolutely.
So, my question is, I guess,
why would you be in Alabama?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Alabama has the most mud.
It's got that red clay mud.
Yeah,
It's got that red clay.
He's
Brother
he's
Jeff,
going
mud.
noodling.
if I'm from Alabama and you're from Ontario, I can still get one, right?
Absolutely. We've got dealers in every state, just about.
Nice.
You know, if it's not in your state, it's maybe some of the northeast states like Rhode Island or something like that, we might not have a dealer. And then some of the sparsely populated ones out in the west, we may not. But in the south, the southeast, on up to Michigan, all the way over New York, we've got dealers.
Well, you've been around for a while, that's for sure.
The company started in the early 60s, and we started producing the machines in the mid-60s. We've been making them since then. They've always been in production since then, never gone out. We've updated them accordingly. New technology comes out, in which we're still going to continue to do.
Now,
very cool.
You brought up you have the amphibious trailer. It's not the only thing I can pull with it, right?
No. I mean, it's got a
receiver.
receiver. It's got a standard receiver on it.
Yep.
So if you've got other trailers that you want to pull on land, or you got something else you want to hook up to it.
The boat trailer.
Yeah, if you want to pull the boat behind it to move it around or whatever. You got a pontoon boat, as long as it comes within the specs of what it's rated to tow.
Take the straps off the boat and go head first down the ramp.
Yes.
And you just keep towing the trailer until it's
go.
time to leave.
Yeah. It could have been
and the boat follows you back out.
It could have been helpful if you
Oh, bless your heart.
Listen, you guys have been up here at the show for as long as I remember, because I wasn't joking when I started this segment. When I walk around this corner every year, there's all kinds of cool stuff to look at in this hall. But this is probably the best eye candy as far as vehicles that go in any show you ever go to, because when something has 8 wheels and tracks and floats and is camouflage and does everything,
or blacked out like that one,
it doesn't get more epic than
You know
that.
what's good is the fact that these things are amphibious, because all the people walking by drooling. Gets deep.
That's good. That's good. I'll tell you, this is my take on it. This is the kind of machine that when you see it, you go, I didn't even know I wanted or needed that.
Yes.
Now I do.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was out there. Now I understand that I need that.
Yes.
That is true.
Every month I tell
like that.
myself, man, here's the thing. I don't really need my house anymore. I just want to go fishing and hunting all over the world because it isn't just Argo. There's like 40 other things that I want here.
Sure.
But they all fit in that thing. So I have to have that as a base.
There you go.
It's base camp.
Yeah. You throw you a tent in there or pull a little small. You ever seen those little A-shaped travel trailers?
Absolutely.
Pull one of them with it out there in the woods with you.
No,
Then you got a bed and a nice stove to cook on, little chemical toilet to go number 2 in, whatever you need to do.
I love
Very
it.
cool.
Jeff,
Well,
thanks, man. Thanks for
Hey,
talking with us.
appreciate it, Catfish.
Thank you, bud.
Ryan.
Thanks for the time.
Will, no problem.
Thanks, Jeff.
Get down here to the gun hole and see them, guys. Argo.
All right.
So we are in the gun hall.
Yes, we are.
Affectionately call this the gun hall because that's
What it is.
kind of what it is. Guys, we are walking by the CVA booth, and a lot of big things are happening
Some
from these
stuff
guys.
looks different here.
It just does. Yeah. And I saw a picture of this booth from SHOT Show. And is this the same booth or is it similar?
It's identical.
It's the identical booth. And it looks like an amazing hunting lodge, big elk rack, fireplace, a couple furs. But along every wall, there's a line of guns. And they look like CVA guns, but they're slightly different. So this is cool. We're with Thomas McCauley, and love to hear a little bit more about what you got going on.
Yeah, thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. Of course, I think the first thing that people notice when they come by the booth, obviously, it's very rustic.
Yeah.
and it echoes kind of our vibe of how we, at our core, are hunting.
Yeah.
And shooters, and happen to make some cool products along the way that
Absolutely.
echo that.
Yeah.
This you're primarily known for your muzzleloaders, and that's that we've known that for a long time. But this is a big muzzleloading state. I think it gets a little bit more popular every year because it extends our seasons, different things like that. So, people definitely in Pennsylvania love that opportunity to obviously do that, and CVA is a big part of that. So, what's some of the new, like, I'm looking at Cerakotes, I'm looking at performance packages that I don't ever remember seeing from CVA.
Yeah. I mean, for a while there, we had some great coverage with the nitride.
Uh-huh.
We had all our Wolf, our Optima, our Acura line predominant for a while, and are continuing to be, especially with the fact that the nitride allows us to give a rust corrosion guarantee that if it ever pits or corrodes your barrel, it will replace it.
Wow. Oh, nice. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, and then the Acuras, we've, since it's announced, we've had basically a satisfaction guarantee that if it's not the best muzzleloader you've ever shot, we'll give your money back.
Really?
Okay.
And, of course, we get all of maybe 4 or 5 back a year out of the thousands that we sell. But, from there it was, how do we push the needle further? How do we make it so that folks that are really trying to push the limits to muzzleloading and making it something that they could take on an elk hunt and feel confident at 300 yards with? And that's really what the Paramount has done. And
yeah, I mean, just looking at it, it kind of catches your eye because it looks like a long-range rifle.
Yeah, I mean,
and you're trying to, you walk by it, you're like, what exactly is that? Because it doesn't. I mean, the breech looks a little bit different. Or there's some different slight things, but
it could be in the military applications, or it's just you have to look at it a little bit closer to realize that it's a muzzleloader.
Yeah, so I mean, the Paramount really in its core is a bolt action style rifle, right? But of course, it has some features that are pretty tried and true with most muzzleloading. The first thing that people notice out of it is, where's the ramrod? They're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
It's a muzzleloader, but the ramrod's not hanging from under the barrel like every other. And that's because we're utilizing the true harmonics of long-range free-floating barrel systems.
Okay.
And that's why the ramrod's not attached to it. That's going to come in a pouch that's separate and apart and collapsible. And that's what you got right there.
It's almost collapsible like a tent.
Exactly.
Pole, you know,
that's right.
Oh my gosh, I would not even have known that.
And you just drop that straight down, and boom, you're ready to reload.
Yeah.
Of course, the gun itself comes with the collapsible rod. It also comes with a standard range rod that you really use to fine-tune it and load and clean with it. But I think that the core of the system is, like I said, a lot of the same principles that you have in most muzzleloaders. A breech plug, you're loading from the muzzle, you're loading a muzzleloader bullet, all that. But from there, it's all about the fine-tuning. It's just the minor things that most people don't think about.
Sure.
So for one, that we wanted to really focus on is how to improve getting all of the fire directly to the powder without losing it going backwards.
Okay.
Right? And so with the VariFlame system, Cecil Epps out of Canada developed, we utilized that with a large rifle primer, and it comes with this toolkit that allows you to install the large rifle primer. And then,
so instead of a 209 primer, you're now moving over to the large rifle primer.
Yeah. Okay. Inside the VariFlame. So once you install the large rifle primer, you've basically created a type of 209 primer with more fire.
Right. Because it's going to be a little bit hotter.
Exactly.
Yep.
Then you install it directly in the breech plug, and the way that this bolt works is that's like a plunger.
Okay.
So it sits right over, as you watch it right there, it cams over it. So no fire comes backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two is we're designing this whole system around using Black Horn 209 powder.
Okay.
Which is probably some of the cleanest burning muzzleloading powder out there. I don't know if you guys ever used it, or if your listeners have ever used it. I'm sure they'll tell you Black Horn 209 is sweet because it's dirty like everything else out there. Plus it burns hotter, right? So because of that, they typically only recommend using 120 grains max.
Okay.
The gun's capable is what we call a super magnum.
Beyond magnum.
Yes.
Super magnum.
Super magnum. So we recommend 105 grains by weight. So we actually recommend you measure and weigh out 105 grains, which is volume 150 grains of Black Horn powder.
Okay.
And then we have you use a 280 grain weight power belt bullet in the 45 caliber. So that, with the large rifle primer pushing through, we measured it out just beyond 2,400 feet per second.
That is moving
for a muzzleloader. Oh my God.
So that's why in our ad we're like 300 yards and beyond.
What are you seeing for like your drop from 100 to 300 yards? Like how many inches?
Well, I mean, typically we zero at 2.
Okay.
And
so you're probably up at 100 by an inch, 2 inches?
Yeah, once you get past the 300 to 400, you're starting to get from 4 to 5 inches to 14 to 16 inch drops. But
wow, that's great. I mean, that's right there with most rifle. I mean, you're going to set, if you own a 243, you're going to set it up kind of the same way.
Yeah.
0 at 200, it's going to be technically like an inch high at 100 and 3 inches low at 300 type thing.
With a 243, you're not going to have a 280 grain ball.
Correct.
It does have a bit of an arc once you get out there.
Gotcha.
But you still have terminal velocity out to 500 yards. So, the beauty of muzzleloading that I don't think a lot of people have wrapped their heads around is how many seasons you've just opened yourself up to. You've struggled in life of a draw, rifle hunt.
Yeah.
Well, you can probably get that tag with a muzzleloader.
Right.
And as long as you're comfortable and confident with it, and that's what I think, these new Paramounts give people that opportunity to do.
Very cool. And you're also building some bolt action rifles.
Yep. We have been making muzzleloaders for a long time, and we're continuing to push the envelope on muzzleloaders. But we knew that with the states changing laws and a lot of folks out there being loyal CVA brand enthusiasts, we wanted to be able to give them pretty much any rifle they want for any season they want.
Sure.
So we've been doing centerfire break action rifles in the Scout series for the past 10 years. And just the past 2 years, we've been using the bolt-action Cascade. Last year was just a blue-black model. This year it's a Cerakote camo model.
Yeah.
And it's in a variety of calibers and a variety of features. It's got length of pull adjustment. It's got obviously a trigger adjustment. It's got 2 swivel studs on the front. So if you wanted to have a bipod and a sling, it's threaded 5/8 by 24 on the muzzle. So if you wanted to put a brake or a suppressor on it, you can. It's got a flush bottom metal that's a drop mag.
Okay.
So it's not going to get caught on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you still get that ability to take that mag out and have it in your pocket and the gun be safe. So you got all these features between $500 and $600 between a variety of calibers like 6.5 PRC, 300 Win Mag, 7 Mag, 708. So just a slew of options for such a feature-rich bolt gun. Plus, not only does it have an MOA guarantee, but it's got a 14-day money-back guarantee.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And so if you don't like it, send it back.
Very good.
We'll take it. Yeah, that's great. Wonderful.
Well, that's definitely some great stuff that you guys have going on. For our listeners, where can they find out more information, look into other things for CVA?
Sure. For your listeners, please go to CVA.com.
Okay.
Simple website to remember.
Yeah.
CVA.com, and check out our videos.
Charlie Victor Alpha.
That's it. And on Facebook, it's CVA at CVA. So
there we go.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Yep, perfect.
That's great.
Thank you so much, Thomas, for just giving us a little bit of your time. And this is, like I said, it's something to behold. The muzzleloaders are known for their value and their accuracy, and this is just another level.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate you guys coming by.
Yep.
Thanks
Thank
again.
you.
Thank you.
Well, there it is. Closing the door on day 8. But we haven't closed the door on the show just yet. I know we got one more day of fun and adventure in store. Be sure to get over here and check it out tomorrow when we release that 9th and final episode of the 2020 Great American Outdoor Show, brought to you by the National Rifle Association. It's going to be good stuff. Don't forget, you can always find us at RuttenRiverPursuits.com. We're all over all the different social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search Rutten River Pursuits. Also, check out those YouTube channels we got going on. Look for Rutten River Pursuits Podcast. The podcast itself, always available on Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. It's been a great couple of days. We got at least one more in us. I know it. We'll see y'all tomorrow. See ya.